There's another avenue that Trump had Michael Flynn to try to get the Clinton emails in the Mueller report, but you've had to have to read it because he had these random individuals, like people actually tied to Barbara Ladine, the wife of that kind of neoconservative, not even a neoconservative. Now he's gone to conspiracy theorist debate material. He immediately his campaign sent it over to the FBI. They didn't go look at the material. No other president in modern time would have done this. The campaign's response to reports about Russian support for Trump. During the 2016 presidential campaign, questions arose about the Russian government's apparent support for candidate Trump after WikiLeaks released politically damaging Democratic Party emails that were reported to have been hacked by Russia. Trump publicly expressed skepticism that Russia was responsible for the hacks at the same time that he and other campaign officials privately sought information. Flynn tried to get these random characters, some other individual who later died. It's just such anti-American activities by all of them. When Al Gore received a briefing book of George W. Bush, and after Flynn withdrew from a joint defense agreement with the president and began cooperating with the government, the president's personal counsel, John Dowd, that asshole, John Dowd, the president's personal counsel left a message for Flynn's attorneys, reminding them of the president's warm feelings towards Flynn, which he said still remains, and asking for a heads up if Flynn knew information that implicates the president. When Flynn's counsel reiterated that Flynn could no longer share information pursuant to a joint defense agreement, the president's personal counsel said he would make sure that the president knew that Flynn's actions reflected hostility towards the president. John Dowd.
Let me see if I can state it in starker terms. If you have this information that implicates the president, then we've got a national security issue, or we need some kind of heads up, protecting all interests if we can. Remember what we've always said about the president and his feeling toward Flynn. That still remains. But
in addition to the interactions with McGahn described above, the president has taken other actions directed at possible witnesses in the special counsel investigation, including Flynn, Manafort, Stone, and as described in the next section, Cohen. When Flynn withdrew from a joint defense agreement with the president's personal counsel stated that Flynn's actions would be viewed as reflecting hostility towards the president. During Manafort's prosecution and while the jury was deliberating, the president repeatedly stated that Manafort was being treated unfairly and made it be known that Manafort could receive a pardon. And the president commended Stone for having the guts to say that he would not testify against the president. In analyzing the president's conduct towards Flynn, Manafort, and Stone, the following evidence is relevant to the elements of obstruction of justice. So now Mueller lays down the evidence of Trump's obstruction. Even though he didn't make a judgment, he didn't say he can rule him out. So this is showing evidence that there was intent, because it was part of obstruction. You have to meet certain requirements, and one of them is nexus to an official proceeding, intent, and you check it off, and support the inference that the president intended to communicate a message that witnesses could be rewarded for refusing to provide testimony adverse to the president and disparaged to chose to cooperate. This shows you actually Mueller's over the top, over fairness. I think the old school, you really gave Trump benefit of doubt with not charging him, saying he could have gone both ways in certain avenues, language being very kind of, mundane.